Okay, guys, let's have a serious discussion about this new Bethesda and Microsoft team up, or whatever you want to call it. If you didn't see my angry rant that I posted, I believe last night, it'll be in the description below. But the angry rant was more so to express how others may be feeling about this team up between Bethesda and Microsoft. And then part of it was, generally me. But let's talk seriously about what happened with Microsoft and Bethesda. So yes, Microsoft did purchase Bethesda for $7 billion, roughly $7 billion, and they are now most likely going to have exclusive titles on the new Xbox and any Xbox beyond that from Bethesda. And there's a lot of things that goes with that. There were people saying that maybe supposedly some of these Bethesda games won't be exclusive to Xbox, that they may also come out for PlayStation and any other console. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think for a company to be bought for $7 billion, they are only going to release their games on that one company, on Xbox. And it comes down to whether or not these games are going to be a console seller. And when you think about that concept, you think about, okay, what games are a reason to buy the Xbox or a reason to buy PlayStation, reasons to buy the Nintendo Switch. And there are some exclusive games that are a console seller for certain individuals, whereas there are other console exclusives that could be seen as a console seller for almost everybody. Some examples I can give you is you look at a game like Ratchet and Clank. It could be a console seller for certain people, but not for everybody. Not everyone is into Ratchet and Clank. Me personally, I don't really play Ratchet and Clank. I'm not really into that series, so it's not really a console seller for me. But then you look at games like The Last of Us and the Uncharted series and God of War and Spider-Man. Those are PlayStation console sellers for almost everybody. Then with Microsoft, you look at games like Forza. Not everyone is buying an Xbox for Forza. I bought an Xbox One Series S, or I was able to get one mainly because of Forza. I had the Forza bundle with Horizon 3. So I wanted the Xbox because of Forza, and that was it. And also, I do play online with my friends. We play Call of Duty online, and we play, a couple other games online. I got it also to play with them online. But in terms of a console seller or a console exclusive, it was Forza. You have people who are going to buy a new Xbox because they love Halo, even though some of the games haven't been that good. I heard Halo 5 is just awful. And Halo Infinite wasn't even looking that good during the initial demo they showed. So with Bethesda now being part of Microsoft, are these games going to be console sellers? Maybe the new Elder Scrolls will be a console seller, assuming it doesn't become overhyped and fails. But I don't think that games like Dishonored will be a console seller. I didn't know till yesterday that The Evil Within was by Bethesda. I thought it was another company. That may or may not be a console seller because when it comes to these survival horror games, it's without a question that as of recent games, Resident Evil has been dominating the survival horror. So I think people will more likely want to play Resident Evil 8 as compared to a new Evil Within. People are not really going to buy an Xbox for Dishonored. And as of everything that happened with Fallout 76, I don't think anyone is rushing out to play the new Fallout if they do release a new Fallout, which they probably will. And another thing that comes out with this Bethesda exclusive deal is that most of Bethesda's games are first person, and a good number of them are RPG for first persons. Granted, Skyrim did have a third person mode, but it's much better experience at first person. Fallout is first person, Dishonored first person. I think one of them is called The Prey, which is like an alien sci-fi game, first person. The Evil Within was third person, but you see the point. A lot of these games on Xbox are first person games. Halo, The Elder Scrolls now. Doom is another one I forgot to mention. Doom is a first person game. Dishonored. So it also comes down to Xbox seems like the console for the first person shooters and the first person RPGs. Whereas other consoles like PlayStation and Nintendo Switch is, PlayStation has a bigger range of exclusive. Nintendo, most of the exclusives is Mario, but you do have the Zelda games. You do have Bayonetta is now a Nintendo exclusive. But another thing that happens with this whole situation is how Phil Spencer himself said that exclusive games, it's what's hurting the industry. And I don't think that's true. I think he only said it because Xbox had no major exclusive titles, with some exceptions like Halo and Gears of War. Whereas other consoles like Nintendo has a lot of exclusives. The new Monster Hunter is a Nintendo Switch exclusive. They have all the Mario games, all the Zelda games. They have Bayonetta now. They have the Xenoblade series. They have Smash Brothers. Sony has so many exclusives: Uncharted, Last of Us, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo. Those games that are by, I can't remember the company, but the games like Beyond Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain. Those games, I can't remember the company who makes those games, but those games, the Horizon series, because they're getting a sequel for Horizon Zero Dawn. So there's so many exclusives on PlayStation, and there's so many different genres on PlayStation exclusives. And so with Microsoft and Phil Spencer saying that exclusive games hurts the industry, I don't think it's exclusive games that hurts the industry. I think it's exclusive developers that hurts the industry. Because you look at a game or a company like Bethesda, and Skyrim was playable on almost everything. It was on PC, it was on PS3, PS4, 360, Xbox One. It's on Nintendo Switch. It's on Alexa, you know. And so you look at companies that made games for all these consoles, and now they're switching to one console. That's what I think hurts the industry. You look at a company like Naughty Dog. They've been with Sony from the beginning. So the reason why that, in my opinion, doesn't hurt the industry is because they only make the Last of Us series right now. They did make the Jack and Daxter series. And they had the Crash Bandicoot series back in the day, but I think now it's by another company. But they're not making, a whole bunch of different games. They're making just a small amount. Whereas you look at a company like Bethesda, where they make all these games. Rockstar Games at one point had a lot of games. They had Grand Theft Auto, they had Max Payne, they had Midnight Club, they have Red Dead Redemption. So, there are some developers that shouldn't be exclusive to one console, and there are those that maybe should be exclusive to a console. The company that makes the Halo series, or they used to make the Halo series, Bungie, they used to make Halo, and then now they make I can't remember the name of that game because it wasn't even that good. But you know what I'm talking about, the space game. What is it called? I can't remember. But you get the point. Certain developers are good, I think, for certain consoles, and other developers should be for all consoles. Like EA Games, granted, they started to kind of improve on their format. I don't think EA should be exclusive to a console. I think EA should be on every console. You look at Rockstar Games, that should be on every console. It shouldn't be exclusive to a certain console. And so I don't think Bethesda should be exclusive to Microsoft. I think they were just, I don't want to say greedy, but they kind of wanted to do what they could to acquire Bethesda for themselves and say, hey, now we can have exclusive titles because our other developers haven't been producing anything. I remember a couple years ago at E3, Microsoft showed all these different developer companies they had under their belt, and all these companies were going to make all these amazing games for them. And we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen any games that are exclusive that are AAA massive titles. And so with Bethesda, this I guess this is their way of saying we can now get exclusives. We can just have Bethesda do it, and maybe we'll give them the freedom to do what they want. Maybe we'll give them the limitations. We don't know. And I don't know if it's a sign of Microsoft either not being, or either they're lazy to not make their own exclusives, or they just for some reason can't right now. We don't know. But you look at Sony, who they say, look, Naughty Dog is making these games, and whoever's I think it's Guerrilla Games making the Horizon games, and Insomniac is making Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank. We're letting them do what they know how to do because they're gonna do well. What is going on with Microsoft and their own developers not making any great games or any games as frequently as they could be? The new Halo is still a ways out because of how bad it was shown on the demo, the presentation. You have Forza is making another game. I think they want to take a year off, which is good. Give it some time. Make the game even better. Then you have Gears of War. So far, there's no Gears of War 6 coming out. Granted, 5 just came out like a couple years ago. But that's it. Whereas, there's not as many titles on Xbox as there are on PlayStation. So I think the Bethesda deal will help Xbox with more titles for their console. I just don't think it was it was honest because they purchased the company. It's how business works. You purchase something. I just think it was kind of greedy on their part. But that's just how I felt about it. And I don't know how other people how other people feel about it. I know that those who enjoyed playing Doom and Elder Scrolls on PlayStation are going to be very upset. I take it either way. You know, for me, it is what it is. But other than that, I don't really have much to say about that. I think it was smart and dumb on Microsoft's part. Smart because they were able to acquire a company to make more games for them. Dumb on the fact that I think they overpaid because Sony acquired Insomniac Games for like 300 million. They acquired Bethesda for 7 billion. I think they overpaid, especially when you look at games like Fallout 76 and other Bethesda games that don't really take off that well. I think that they overpaid, and maybe Bethesda will be even better. Maybe they'll be the same. Maybe they'll be worse. We don't know, but that's my video on the Bethesda Microsoft deal for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great Saturday and a great weekend, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we are at 131 subscribers, I think. So let's get to that 150. We're very close to 150. We're only short about 19 people. So let's get to 150. Until then, see you guys later.